This is David Pickering's masterclass on the national anthem. I'm going to just take this measure by measure just so that you can be aware of some potential problem spots. And feel free to email me, feel free to contact me at dpickeri@ksu.edu if you have any questions, and I'll be more than happy to help. The national anthem is the hardest hymn in the hymn book of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I'm sure is one of the more difficult ones found in the hymnals of other denominations. This is for many reasons. There are a variety of tricky manual and pedal techniques involved. It's 2 pages long. The key signature, at least in the hymn book for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, is A flat major, which is 4 flats, and that can also be a little tricky to deal with. In the pickup measure, I have marked on the handout that has the fingering and pedaling available on my website, the C, which is the second note in the pickup measure with your right foot, to be played with the right foot. That will work for about everybody. For some people with larger feet, if you feel like that you can make that C to A flat skip with your left foot, please feel free to take that. In the first full measure, we have the common tone A flat, which is from beat 1 in the right hand to beat 2 in the tenor bass. Typically, we will tie these unisons, just simply because if I were to break the A flat, it would leave me with a break in the melody line, which is something that I do not want. This hymn, I have used liberal use of the left hand taking the alto line. You'll see the first instance of this going from measure 2, all the way through measure 7, the downbeat of measure 7. While some people may be a little reticent to do this, I can say that in general it will help provide the greatest degree of legato in the inner voices particularly. And it will help you with better legato between the soprano and alto voices. In the pickup to measure 5, please be careful in the last verse to only play the E flat as a quarter note because of the text. We only have the B syllable from between in there, and so we don't need to play 2/8 notes. Notice that in the pickup to measure 5, we need to tie the E flat, that unison E flat in the soprano alto, into the alto voice that is on the downbeat to measure 5. This is simply because otherwise I'm going to have a break in the melody line if I break that alto or that E flat there. In measure 5, in the pedal, we have what's called a pedal glissando. If you look at the pedal video that I have posted, you can see that the best way I have found to do a pedal glissando is we're going from an A flat to a B flat with the toe, with the left toe. So I would initially play the A flat with the left part of your left foot and then rotate over to your right foot. You can see that I do this, and maybe with a little bit of a slide. You'll find that to be a helpful technique in getting a good legato connection between the A flat and the B flat. Going into measures 7 and 8, everyone's a little concerned, particularly those maybe newer to the organ, about playing those unison arpeggiated A flat major chords in the pedal, the A flat to E flat to C to A flat. For those who feel comfortable playing, the pedaling I have marked in there should be sufficient. If not, you can simply leave the pedal out and just play the unison notes between the two hands. In measure 8, between that C and A flat, I stand by the same. Actually, you'll have to follow the pedaling there because of. Actually, I have marked that pedaling incorrectly. Actually, it should be from your left foot going from the C to the A flat. I should have caught that when I did that. So please feel free to make that change in measure 8. That C should be played with the left heel. Measures 9 through 16 are an exact repeat of the first two lines, so that's helpful in knowing that that's all you're going to have to deal with is just play what you just have done. In looking at the second page, starting with a pickup to measure 17, one of my big pet peeves in playing this is that most people want to do dotted 8th note followed by 16th note, and the rockets. And in this particular setting of the hymn, it is only through 8th notes, and the rockets. So please feel free, even if the congregation wants to do the double or the dotted 8th followed by the 16th, you know better and are going to follow that appropriately. I would, making the pedaling a little simpler there. Since you are already on the low A flat in the second beat of measure 16, I would just keep it there for beat 3 on measure 16. Just put it down an octave. No one's going to come and slap your hand because you are playing the pedal an octave lower. And then just tie that in with the A flat pedal point that's already there in measures 17 and 18. The pedal will just hold. In measure 18, I recommend going from the bass line, in the manuals that is, not the bass line that's indicated in the pedal. I have advocated a use of sliding the pinky from the A flat to the G in measures 18 to 19, and from A flat to G in measures 18 through 19 in the right hand with the thumb. Just slide those. That's going to be perfectly fine. It's going to give you a nice legato connection without much further ado. In measure 19, and I forgot to comment about this in measure 2, when I have two numbers, a number followed by a dash followed by another number, that means I'm going to do a finger substitution. I'm going to start with my finger in measure 19, for example, I'm going to start with my second finger on that B flat soprano note, substituting to the third finger, which will then get me all the way up through the rest of that measure without further difficulty. Notice that in measure 21 we have another toe glissando, pedal glissando from the A flat to the B flat, which we dealt with earlier. I think personally that if you can get through measures 27 and 28, that is the hardest spot in the hymn book with this particular hymn, I should say. Between the finger substitution in measure 27 and the soprano note and the alto note, taking the alto line with your left hand for part of the measure, and then doing the ascending pedal line there with toe heel, which really in and of itself is not too bad. The pedal line in measure 29, I would, especially between beats 1 and 2, I would pedal that as I have marked. Left heel on the C of first downbeat of measure 29, going up to the E flat with your left foot. That will, I think, put you in the best stead there. In measure 30 and in measure 31, we have an issue of, in measure 2 of measure 30, or on beat 3, excuse me, I'm riding on that F minor chord, and on beat 3, I'm going to initially pedal that with my left toe, but then I need to get in a better position so that I can be where I need to pedal for measure 31. So I'm going to, when I repeat that A flat there, I'm going to put my right toe in for that last 8th note there. Then it gets me an opportunity to use my left toe for that first E flat, and then as I repeat, I can then shift to, as I'm on beat 3, to the E flat on my right toe, which then puts me in the best spot to end the hymn with measure 32, left toe on A flat. The introduction I would have as it's marked, the first system or the first line of the hymn and the last line, that's fine. I think it gets the point across just fine. For the registration to use for this, if you look on my website at the handout for a basic hymn registration, It's going to differ, as you probably well know, of what registrations to use, depending on the size of your congregation, the organ, the resources that it has available. I would, as a general rule, if you have a well-functioning organ, in this instance I'm thinking more that you're going to probably be dealing with a digital organ. If you do have a pipe organ, then feel free to adapt this. I would go primarily with the registration numbers that I have on my handout, 4, 5, and 6. 4 is the additional brilliance, employing mixture, the primary chorus mixture and the grate. Number 5 brings in an additional mixture from the swell that you might also use. And then the number 6 climactic moment registration that I've indicated on the handout employs at least one of the chorus reeds that I believe is on the grate. Depending on your organ, you might find that it works better on the to bring the swell reed in first. Usually a trumpet or a tromba or something of that nature. Then going into the last page registrationally, I would I would go to the number 7 registration that I have employed, which gives the 4-foot reed in the right hand plus a 32-foot flue, like a flute or something, in the left in the pedal. And then if you want to, for the last line or the last 2 measures or the last 2 beats, throw in the 32-foot reed if you have one in the pedal, then that's always very exciting. The biggest thing in doing these additions is either making sure that someone is there to add it for you, or to do it in a place where you feel like that you can safely make your registration change. These are my quick tips for how to play the national anthem successfully. As I said earlier, please feel free to drop me a note if you have any questions. Please feel free to leave some feedback, and thank you for watching, and I look forward to your responses, and we will be back one day soon with another hymn masterclass. Have a good time playing, and we'll see you next time.